Okay, so hi, good afternoon to all the attendees who are attending this webinar. So you just need to confirm me that if my audio and video is is audible. So you can write in the chat box, and myself Shashank, and I'll be taking you through this webinar today between K2 and Krannich. So once again, a warm welcome to everyone. So I'll be just waiting for attendees to just let me know that if we are okay and the screen is visible and the audio is audible. So you can write in the chat box, and then we shall move forward with the introduction part. So all the attendees are here.
Yeah. So I can hear you very nicely, Shashank. So I will request everybody to type yes or no if they can hear us and they can see us nicely.
Seems to be good for everybody.
Because I'm not able to see people typing in the chat. I mean, I'm not able to see that. Maybe as a panelist, I won't be able to see. Is it?
Ronnie, can you see a lot of people typing?
Yes,
they can see it.
I can see the comments, and audio is clear, and video is also clear.
Okay. All right. So, guys, once again, good afternoon to all the attendees. My name is Shashank, and I look for sales in the West region of India, and I look for Gujarat region as well on behalf of Krannich. So, once again, a warm welcome to all the attendees, and I'll be taking you forward on this webinar. And for an introduction part, just now, I'll be handing over the mic to Mr. Harpreet from K2. As we all know that this webinar is in collab with K2 and Krannich. So what is K2, what company, what they do, all will be introduced by Mr. Harpreet. So please let me welcome and to Mr. Harpreet-Singh, and he will take you forward as an introduction part, and the K2 team as well. So Mr. Harpreet, here you go.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you. First of all, I would like to acknowledge each and every one of you for coming here and spending your precious time. I really appreciate that. And I would really like to thank Shashank, because we were thinking from some time that how we as a company, as a group like Krannich and K2 can organize a combined webinar. And yes, we finally did it. And right now we are in front of such a beautiful audience. So myself, Harpreet, and I'm taking care of K2 systems in India. And if you have any inquiries or questions about our K2 products, I will be really glad to reply you on that. And I will be your point of your contact for the K2 structures. And I also would be in the second half of the webinar, I will also demonstrating you our K2 base online tool, which is free of cost tool, and which will help you to do the mechanical planning of solar PV projects. So I'm looking forward to do the second session once Shashank is finished with the Krannich session. And now I would like to introduce my team, basically, who are so kind enough to come to support us all the way from Germany. So first of all, I would like to ask, say, Hartwig Elber to quickly say hi to the audience and introduce himself. So Hartwig, please.
Thank you, Harpreet. Hello together. My name is Hartwig Alber. I am in charge of international sales within K2 Systems. And I'm happy to be the co-moderator here with this webinar.
Perfect. Hartwig, welcome you to this webinar, to this. Yeah, so we really appreciate. And now I'd also like to introduce Ronnie Barner. And I will say quickly say, Ronnie, could you quickly say hi to the audience and introduce yourself? Ronnie, your voice is not audible to me. Hartwig, is it audible to you?
I'm sorry, I forgot to switch on my microphone. Thank you again, Harpreet. Thank you for welcoming me, and I also like to welcome you, all the audience. I'm Ronnie. I'm here in Germany at K2, working in technical sales. and I'm happy to co-moderate the webinar today, and yeah, answer your questions. You are always welcome to put via chat, or not via chat, but there is also a question panel, and you can ask your question by using this panel. And Hartwig and me mainly, and Harpreet and Shashank, depending on who is talking or not talking, we will all answer your questions. So don't hesitate to ask if you have any questions. Thank you.
Perfect, Ronnie. Perfect, Ronnie and Hartwig. Thank you so much. And I would like to repeat once again that Ronnie and Hartwig will be supporting us on the back end. And there are actually two ways of answering the questions. So if you have any questions during the webinar, you can, first way to ask a question is directly typing in the chat box your questions, and we will try to address some questions during the webinar. And also want to tell you that's another way of asking the questions. In the end of the webinar, there would be a Q&A sessions. So in there you can ask your questions. You can actually see there's a button called raise a flag. So if you want to ask questions verbally, so you can click on this raise a hand button. So once you click it, then Ronnie and Hartwig know that you want to ask question verbally, and then they will switch on your mic, and then you can ask your questions verbally. Apart from that, you can also, if you feel a little shy to ask verbally, then you can also type in the chat box. So that's all from my side. I will be soon joining you, but now I will like to hand over again to Mr. Shashank. Shashank, so take it further, please.
Thank you so much, Harpreet, Hartwig, and Ronnie, for such a wonderful introduction. All right, so all the attendees will be now switching off our webcams, and will be available on the audio as well. So because we're gonna start our webinar. So all right, so let us first we'll see the Krannich video for 2 minutes, and then we'll be moving forward with the PPT, right? So I hope the screen is visible. So this is our video. So let's first see the video. Krannich, it's a German company, and we are the global solar distributors in the world. So let's first go with the video. There is no audio in the video, so do not get confused. This is on the video. You can see the global presence in 25 countries in the world, and soon I'll be taking you towards the product portfolio as well. The modules, the portfolio of modules, the portfolio that Krannich has in India in the segment of inverters, residential and commercial both range we have in India. These are the optimizers. Everybody is familiar with SolarEdge optimizers. And we are based in Pune, India. When we talk about Krannich India, with more than 25 years of experience in solar industry, which is huge. And 4.5 plus gigawatt installations, more than 9,000 customers worldwide. That's our huge portfolio in terms of our customers. We have more than 5,000 products globally, which is again a huge achievement and honor for Krannich. So we are up with the video, and now we shall all start with the presentation. All right, so as we all know, today we have collaborated with K2 Systems in association with Krannich, and you've all heard we have Mr. Harpreet-Singh for South Asia, and he'll be taking forward the PPT, the presentation, once I complete. So let's move forward. So when we talk about Krannich as a global distributor of solar products in the world, so here we are. That this is our headquarter, and Krannich is based in Germany near Stuttgart. And this is the content. This is the agenda through which we will be going for Krannich presentation. So we have global. We are into global solar distribution. We'll talk about the delivery. We'll talk about the modules and inverters. What kind of services we provide. And yes, the most important thing that today you will find out in our presentation is this is very interesting news for all the attendees who are watching this PPT, this presentation and attending this webinar. And in a while, you will get to know that what is the most benefit that you will get by attending this webinar, our product USP, and last but not the least, discount coupons. So this is very interesting. We'll see at the end of our presentation. So starting with, there are, Krannich locations you can see on the screen. So when we talk about India and South Asian countries, we are based in Pune, India. And on the right hand side, you can see Japan, Singapore. We have Australia based in Brisbane and Melbourne. And when we talk about Central Europe, so there you can see all the countries, Krannich as their base, starting from Germany, Belgium, Great Britain, Netherlands, Sweden, and so on. And on the western part of the world, we are based in USA, Mexico, and on the southern side, we have South Africa and Brazil. So it's an honor for all of us as a Krannich family. We are based in more than 24 countries worldwide. Moving forward, we deliver a rewarding experience. So the most important thing that I would like to share with all the attendees is that we all know that since last 2.5 months, we went through the COVID situation, and we feel privileged and proud to announce and to let our audience know that when the COVID situation and the lockdown was there, but through the permission and through the customs that we were following the guidelines of government, we were able to deliver the solar material to the clients once we had this guidelines from government that from the 50% staff we can start the business. So all our customers who were associated with Krannich had a very good experience when no one was able to deliver the solar material. It was Krannich who was able to do that, with ensuring all the guidelines followed for Indian government. And Krannich says that we are all proud. So delivering across the country in amid this critical situation. We have warehouses in the regions, like we have one warehouse in Pune, we have one warehouse in Delhi, other we have in Chennai, and so on. So we were fastest to reach, and we were able to deliver our material to the end customer, or to the EPC companies who are associated with us as our good client. So now moving forward, we have our product portfolio, which has a wide range. So in the module section, when we talk about PV modules, we have Exitec, the German brand, everyone is familiar. We have Trina Solar, we have JA Solar, and when we talk about Indian made module, we had a good collaboration with Satvik Green Energy, company based in Haryana, India. And Trina Solar in JA comes from China. Exitec is a German brand. So this is a product portfolio, product range in the modules that Krannich is having in India, right? So right choice for PV modules. And moving forward, a wide range of inverter, right? So we have Goodvi, Fronius, SMA, and SolarEdge with us. So everybody is familiar that Fronius comes from Austria, Europe. Goodvi is a Chinese brand. We are all familiar, and SolarEdge is a company from Israel, right? So all the product portfolio, the inverter range we have, Krannich India. These are the brands which we sell in India. Moving forward, the kind of service and project support what we give to our clients is, we are glad to assist you personally. So first of all, Krannich India has a project design and development team where we do the technical planning, and we also have a solar generation report. So here I would take some time to explain our attendees who are listening to me that there are few EPC companies who are new into the market. So if the EPC wants us to plan something for their residential projects. So Krannich India has a dedicated team where we can assist you as in technical terms. We have certain solar generation reports. Now, solar generation reports as in we have certain combinations like inverter and module. If an EPC company wants us to give the reports, we do share the reports. For example, how Trina modules is going with Goodwi inverters, or how the Trina modules are giving good result when the SolarEdge inverters are installed, or maybe Fronius. So all those modules, when are installed with certain inverters, what kind of reports are generated. So we are also have a very good report. So if a EPC wants us to share, definitely we are there to share. Shipment tracking details, yes. So once when the procedure is that once a EPC company places the PO, and once our logistic department shares the tracking details of shipment, and once the transport is out of the warehouse, all the employees of a different state, they are in communication with the logistic department Krannich in Pune. So we have all the tracking details, and we shared as soon as possible with all the clients and our customers, so that they can also talk to the people who are driving on the roads as a transport, and we try to deliver as soon as possible. So we provide with the shipment details as well. We are also open with online complaints via email or via phone, because we have a different sales employees across India with Krannich. Also, we provide training sessions for all the small EPCs. So where the EPC can get a helpful hand from Krannich is that if the EPC wants us to give them training, yes, we are open for training sessions, because as I told you, Krannich has a dedicated technical team and a good management team, whereas in we talk to the EPC, we listen to their concerns, and after that we say, EPC, we give them online trainings as well. All the questions are being answered which are asked from on the behalf of EPC. So if you are a new EPC, a small EPC, do not hesitate. We are open for the training sessions, and any question that you want in technical aspect, feel free to call us anytime, and our team will respond. Moving forward, energy solutions for SMEs. So we are inspect the suitability of the roof for a solar system. We do help to analyze current electricity prices. Third point, analyze the possibility of meeting the load with a solar system and forecast the economical and ecological benefits. So this is the kind of services that we help to calculate, and we give this all the inquiries to the EPCs who want to inspect that how the roof top has to be designed for a solar system. We also help them to analyze the current electricity prices, because India has so much of state, so every state has their own strategy and own unit prices. So we help them through this also. We also help them to analyze the possibility of meeting the load with a solar system, and we give them the forecast also, economical and ecological benefits. So moving forward, we also provide them the system design. So this is very important for the EPC. If you're confused that how to design a system because you're new, we have a lot of EPCs, and we are very much proud that India is coming up with small EPC companies, and they have trust. So if you ask Krannich to give you the system design, definitely we will help you to design the system as well. Moving forward, as I told you that there will be some interesting information that today I'm going to share in this short session of Krannich. So Goodwi residential inverters, we are very much and we are very closely associated with the Goodwi brand, and in India we are proud to sell this awesome product. And today when I'm taking this presentation, I feel privilege and honor that we have this Goodwi inverter. So now the EPC in India who are looking for residential range and they're looking forward for inverters to get installed in the residential projects, we have a good news for all the EPC that from 1 kilowatt to 6 kilowatt, we have a full available stock with us today, like in the Pune and Bhiwandi warehouse. And if the EPC wants us to deliver the residential range of GoodWe inverters, we have a full stock. And you can see we have all the range from 1 kilowatt to 6 kilowatt. And if you want the inquiry and the price list of this, definitely connect with our marketing team and your inquiries will be forward. But the most interesting part is the product strength of the GoodWe inverters. So if you are looking at the screen, startup voltage at 50 volts, and the highest efficiency rate goes up to 98.6%, which is commendable efficiency we receive. All the EPCs are concerned with the oversizing DC. So there is a 30% DC oversizing in this, and 10% AC overloading available in the inverters. For more information, what we'll do is that if the EPC or our clients ask us for a particular model of inverter, we'll provide you the data sheets of the interested inverter. So more details you'll find out in the data sheets as well. And with this higher power density and easy installation process, could be compatible with double class bifacial modules as well. So this is a product strength that I wanted all the attendees to look at, and because that is the reason we say that GoodWe is a good choice. Now bring the sun home. This is what I was talking about, and this is what I just wanted to say. So this is an exclusive offer, guys. Listen very carefully. All the attendees who are attending this webinar today and are present with us here, so up to 5% discount. Krannich is giving you 5% off on GoodWe residential inverters ranging from 1 kilowatt to 8 kilowatt. We have full stock. So if you want to avail this very good discounts available on GoodWe, this offer is valid till 15th of July 2020. So for rates and if any questions you have, we'll take post presentation once Harpreet finishes with his presentation from K2. And this is the importance that I wanted to share, that we are giving up the discount coupons. How you will be able to avail the discount is that you have to mail us, or you can come in contact with the Krannich team and you let us know how many pieces or how many units you want, and you shall get the price. And once you are okay with the price and you will share the PO, you will be given direct discount of 5%, just because you attendees, you guys have taken out your special time and you're giving time to us. And that is the reason that Krannich feels honored and privileged to provide 5% of discount to our attendees. But this offer is only for the attendees, not for somebody else who is not in the attending the webinar. So avail the offer as soon as possible. This is valid till 15th of July 2020. Right. So guys, thank you so much. This was a short PPT from Krannich. And now if the attendees have any questions in regards to the Krannich team, we will take the questions post PPT from K2. And now I would request Mr. Harpreet-Singh to come on board and take the mic so that we can move forward with the K2 presentation. And I'll be taking off, and I'm also very much excited to watch this association with K2, and they will provide their PPT. So Harpreet, over to you. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Thank you, Shashank. It was really a nice presentation. Nice to know about GoodWe inverters. So if you could pass on, like I was not able to share my screen. So could you make me the presenter so that I can share my screen?
Have you received the request, Harpreet?
Not yet.
I would request Ronnie or Harpreet to, because I have handed over the presentation.
So either of Ronnie or Harpreet could make me presenter, because if I'm not a presenter, I cannot share my screen.
But I
Yes.
think you are you are the only one who is. Huh?
Now I think I can share my screen. I think is my screen visible? Because I just received a message that
It's
is it
not
my screen visible?
Harpreet, it's not visible yet.
Not visible yet. So ladies and gentlemen, just a few minutes. Let me sort this out. People, no one can see your screen.
But you know where to do this, right?
Yes, I know that. It must be visible now, I guess.
Yes, it's visible now.
All right, perfect. So, ladies and gentlemen, first of all, I'd like to thank Shashank for his wonderful presentation. And thank you so much once again, Shashank, for being here to be part of this combined webinar, which we are doing it with Krannich. And I hope all the audience must be taking this 5% special discount on Goodway inverters. So it's a technically very good inverter. So if you are really interested in having this Goodway inverter, please do contact Shashank and avail this wonderful opportunity. So now coming back to today's topic, like one of the spiritual leaders, one of my favorites as well, Sadhguru, he mentioned that without a strong foundation, it is difficult creating anything of a value. So I would repeat what Sadhguru said. Sadhguru said, without a strong foundation, it would be difficult creating anything of a value. So ladies and gentlemen, what is the foundation in case of solar PV structures? So if you know that, please type in the chat box. Yeah, but I will tell you, the foundation in solar PV projects is the structures. Yeah, so without a strong foundation, it doesn't matter what kind of PV panels you use, what kind of inverters you use. If your foundation is really not strong, you will end up in a result which is shown in the screen. You can see this is actually a site from where Shashank is based at in Pune. So this was one of the societies in Pune, and what happened is just strong wind, all the electrical components are in the air. So all your efforts in designing electrically are waste because the foundation was not strong. So the foundation is really strong, ladies and gentlemen, until unless otherwise you will end up in a result like this, which would make you, for me at least, make me very painful. So I would say that people take a lot of concentration on electrical planning. They use software such as Helioscope, PV-Syst, and there's another Indian version developed by Indian colleagues from IIT, Solar Lab. So they are using some different software, and the focus is always on electrical planning. But they've missed the focus on the structure, the base, yeah, the foundation, ladies and gentlemen. The foundation needs to be very, very strong. And today I would like to tell you in the later part of the presentation, we have an online tool which will incorporate all the factors like dead weight, wind speeds, wind directions coming from north, south, or yeah, so that I will be considering that in the presentation. So you will get to know at least what are the factors to be considered while designing the mechanical planning, I will say, so that if you buy, so that the end customer would be really happy. He will not end up seeing his PV project flying in the air, even though he had used the best solar PV modules, the best inverters. But if he has not put a focus on the solar structures, he will be very disappointed. In the end, he will say the solar doesn't work, which is not the case. Solar is the best alternative source we have available in the world at the moment. Yes. So taking it further, ladies and gentlemen, I will show you one more picture. This is from my hometown, Delhi. In this case, the structures are not flying in the air, but still the concrete blocks are moved. Yeah, because you can see this, the structures are quite heavy, but still all the things were not taken into consideration. Yeah, and the wind speed from the back of the modules actually made it inverters to fall in the southward direction. So these pictures I really don't like it, because I know solar really works, and if you see pictures like this, because the focus is not there on the mechanical planning, people don't appreciate that, and solar gets a very bad name. So ladies and gentlemen, please do put focus on the foundation and the foundation start with the solar structures. So I'm a part of K2 Systems. I would like to tell you in short before I show you the online tool how it works. So K2 Systems is a very renowned company. It's one of the oldest companies in the world. So it has almost a lot of employees in Germany, all over the world, and there are more than 100 global distributor in it. If you talk about the installed capacity, it's more than 10 gigawatts, so which is highest in the world. So we are technically, in terms of installed capacity, we are the #1 in the world. So, and most important is, I will talk about reliability. Yeah, so we are a company more than 15 years old, ladies and gentlemen. Actually, now it's the 17th year, and we have done up to now 10 gigawatts. So that talks about our reliability. So that talks about that we are not just suppliers. We are also show you how we make sure that wherever you put your project would be able to, the project will be able to live up to the life of 40 years. Yeah, although the electrical components have a life of 25 years, but I know the solar doesn't go anywhere for 40 years. And K2 Systems is the right product, which will ensure you not for 25 years, for 40 years. Yeah. So moving forward, so I will talk about basically it's K2 System where they are based. We have a global company. We have a subsidiaries in Brazil, in South Africa, in Mexico, USA, England, Italy, France, and our headquarters are based in Renningen. It's in a small city from, if you know the city called Stuttgart. So actually the Krannich and K2 Systems are very close by. They are both located very nearby, and we hold a very good relationship with Krannich as well. So if we talk about worldwide installations, so you can see we have installation in the northern hemisphere and also in the southern hemisphere. So we are actually, you can see our presence of 10 gigawatt from right to left and top to bottom of the world. So we are almost everywhere in the world. So ladies and gentlemen, without wasting time, we have a brief presentation, but my main objective is to show you our online tool, which is called K2 Base. So are you excited to know about K2 Base? If you are excited, please type yes in the chat box. Meanwhile, I just try to go to the website. So guys, give me some energy. Are you excited? Please type yes or no in the chat box. All right. So before going ahead, I will tell you this. This is our online tool. You don't need to download it as a software because this is an online tool. So I just want to confirm from Shashank or Harpreet, is my screen visible still?
Yes, your screen is visible, Harpreet.
All right, perfect. So ladies and gentlemen, if you have not yet registered, yeah, so Harpreet will be sharing you one PDF file showing you which link you have to go for registering. It's a free tool, ladies and gentlemen. Just remember this, it's a free tool because a lot of people were asking me every time how much it costs. So I would like to make it clear, this is a free online tool. You don't need to pay even a single penny. So please make use of this to even though if you're not buying from K2, doesn't matter, but at least you get to know whether your system is stable, whether it will be able to sustain the if it will be able to sustain the wind and the snow loads. Yeah. So going further, I would like to tell you once again how to get registered with it, because that is the most important, because that's my agenda of today, that I want to give you some value in this webinar, some knowledge as well. So how you have to do is you have to go to this online this address, which is called base-k2-systems.com, which you can see in the screen. And if you're not registered, the first step you have to go is first simply log out from my screen, just to tell you how to sign up for this online tool.
I will share the link. I will share the link.
Thank you, Harpreet. So you can see the PDF file also, which will be shared with all of you. You can see how to register as well. So I will tell you shortly how to register. You just need to click on sign up button, and you just need to enter very basic details, which you also put it for registering in the webinar. So just put it all the email, password, and you just need to click on sign up button. And once we receive your request, we will generally approve your request very quickly. So you will get an email once you put up your details here. You will get your customized username and password, and then you can start planning your projects. Yes, and it's free of cost. So taking not delaying any time. So let's plan a project using K2 Base. So I will have to log in with my username password. So I will click on stay login, and I just log in inside the system. So ladies and gentlemen, just overview. For example, about the home page, this online tool is available in 18 languages. But for most important, I think English is suitable for India. And also, there are two ways of planning it. Either you can plan it metric base, which is millimeters and so on, or you can plan it also inches and foots. Yeah. So since the solar panels are mostly the data sheets are on millimeters, so we'll choose millimeters. But if you are comfortable with imperials, inches and foots, you can choose imperial as well. But for me, I just keep it to metrics. So there's also an options, new project, open a project, you can save a project, you can download it as a project file. And ladies and gentlemen, this is a very simple tool. Simple tool means it's available in four steps. I will log off my screen so that you can concentrate more on the screen. I think that's much more better, because then you will not focus on me rather than on the screen. And just a moment. So first step, ladies and gentlemen, it's divided into 4 simple steps. So first we'll begin with the number 1 step. It's called project. So what you will do here, you will click on this new project, and then I will say okay. So ladies and gentlemen, if you feel I'm a little bit fast or slow, you can type it, and then I can adjust my speed accordingly. But I will like to make it optimum speed. Maybe some of them are also planning with me as well. So you can also do that so that it's more productive for you. So what you have to do is, it's based on like Google Maps. So first you have to do is you have to enter the location of the project. I will enter here is, I know this, I'm going to plan a project in south of India. It's a mall basically, and it's in Bangalore. So maybe some of them people from Bangalore may be knowing about this mall, which is in the center of city. And you can choose it as a satellite image, or I would prefer a satellite image because then it gives me a clear picture. You can also choose a hybrid or a road image, and then what you do is you will name it, name the project name. You will have to name project, give a project name basically. So I will name it as participants. You can name it anything, yeah, or let's say webinar training. That's much better. Yeah, and then you can name it as author. Author is myself, and then you can name it as a customer. Customer, for example, I name it as a filament. Contact is, let's say, Shashank. Yeah, so I'm doing it for Shashank. Shashank, hope you like it. So then this is finished. So you're done with the number one step. Now you're left with only 3 steps. Now what you will do is you will click on the roof, and then then you will click on the plus button here, and then you will define what kind of roof it is, whether it's a monopitch, gable, or flat roof. So I know it's a flat roof, then I will click on it as a flat roof. I will name it, if it's a rectangle, then I will take it as a rectangle. If it's a polygon, then I will name it as a polygon. But I think it's a polygon, it's not exactly a rectangle, then I choose it as a polygon. I click on add. I will start with the roof, one end. It's better to use a mouse, otherwise with, okay, it's giving me some problem. Yeah, now it's working. So it's a polygon. I'm not making it accurate. Yeah, oh no. So now it's selected. So now done with the initial step. Now the next step, which is important, is the orientation of the solar panels. So you can see this arrow button, it's showing it's right now in the north direction. You can change it with use of this roof pitch orientation button with using a minus button. You can change it. Now it's actually southeast direction. Now it's actually in the, where is it? It's not showing. Yeah, now it's showing is same direction. Actually, I want to install in this southwest region because the roof is inclined towards southwest. So this is the orientation of the roof I want to do it. So I keep it like this. And what I will do is, because I will put the building height, because wind speeds, as you know, wind speeds are different at different heights. So it's a very important parameter for the mechanical planning that you input the correct building height. So I know from the customer it's 11 meters, and roof pitches you can define, you know, it's not completely flat, so you can put it 1 degrees. And then you need to input one more important parameter, because in Indian roofs are actually, especially the flat roofs, they have actually some parapet wall, which we also call a safety wall, and there's some height for it. So you need to define that parapet wall. Whereas in case of European buildings, it's not there, because but in Indian or Southeast Asian condition, there's some parapet wall is there. So I put the height of parapet wall, I know is 1 meters. Yes, and friction coefficient is basically what kind of material you use for the roof. Based on that, you'll define the friction coefficient. And I know this is 0.6. If you have doubts about friction coefficient, you can I can tell you in once the webinar is over, I can tell you more details about the friction coefficient as well. There's also ways to calculate the friction coefficient if you're not sure about it. And also, if you say that there's some obstructions in it, you can define that obstructions. So for example, I assume there's even though there is no obstruction in this case, but I want, for just the benefit of showing the audience how the obstructions looks like, I just define a rectangular obstruction. And just a moment. So it's important that your, yes, just define this, internet should be fast. And I just define this obstruction. It's a rectangular obstruction. You can give it any shape. Yeah, you can also put a rectangle all around this parapet wall and also see the shading of this. And you need to define the height. I just assume this as a 1.5 meters is the height of the obstruction. I will click on show shading. Yeah. So you're done with all the things. Yeah. So you're done with the obstructions. If there are several obstructions, you can define all the obstructions. And then you are almost done with that step 2 of the design, basically. So now, ladies and gentlemen, now we are just left with 2 more steps. So once you are finished with this, what you will do, you will click on design. And now you can see already some shadow is formed. Yeah. Now what you will do is, shadow is a very important part. And for example, if you are interested in this design part, you need to, because solar structures, for putting the solar structures is very important, what kind of solar panels you are putting on the top. Yeah. So you need to define solar panel manufacturers. For example, I will put a solar panel manufacturer, Trina, which Shashank is offering. Trina Solar Energy, and he was mentioning there's a 500 watt panel which is coming up. I don't know if it's there in the software yet. Yeah, if it's not there, you can also userly define on your own. I'll just click randomly any module here. And if your, for example, if your module is not defined in this database, actually we have almost a database of more than 400,000 module manufacturers. If it's not there, you can still click on this user define, and then you can put the name of the manufacturer, and you can input the length, width, and so on. That is also possible with this. You can also user define it if it's not available in the database. Yes, but in this case, we'll continue back. This time we'll choose Exitech because he's also offering Exitech, and then we'll click on 300, let's say maximum power module 380 watt, and then we'll define module arrays. So once you click, simply you need to click on the plus button, and then it will give you options what kind of structures is best suited for this. Yeah, so it's also possible to make it D-dome, which is double side facing, or single side facing, which is single S-dome. S is for single and D is for double. So based on this latitude, it's recommending me either these 2 options, ladies and gentlemen. So this is a star is formed. So you can choose out of these 2 products. So what I will do is I will click on S-dome V10, and I will click on this complete roof because I wanted the modules on the complete roof. And then you will see that modules will be visible on the complete roof. Correct? There's some error coming up. What is that? Okay, let me figure it out. What is the error? Switch to 2D, it's not showing. Okay, let's go to design. Let's delete it. Again, put S term V10. Yes, not showing solar panels, but then I don't know what happened in the last, it was not showing solar panels. Then let's wait till it gets removed. So you can see this shadow is also visible here. Yeah. So I will tell you how to work with this shadow. Normally there are also software which is just for the shadow analysis, but you can also do a shadow analysis here. How? You can go to the roof, then you can define shadowing. For example, this is shadow takes a random date of 21st December. You can change it to today's date. For example, today is 22nd of June, and you can see how the shadow is changing. So the shadow is moving more towards the right side, you can see, and the bottom side. Yeah, and you can also change the time from when the shadow was there, depending on the sun direction. So you can choose also, for example, if you take it a longer duration of shadow, which is normally not the case, but just to want to show you how the shadows, they see that now shadow is extending to till to the this row as well. Yes, so this way you can also do some kind of a shadow analysis. This is also possible. Such a cool tool this is, right? So we'll keep the shadow like this. We are finished with the design. Not design, I would like to tell you more features about it. For example, this is now a plant. We can install maximum for 179 kilowatts almost. And you can also edit the thermal gaps. What is thermal gaps? Like, which you need because this aluminum is moving with temperature, so you can edit the thermal gaps. And if you want to create a walkways, then also you can create a walkways. For example, you just need to click on thermal gaps, either horizontally or vertically. What I will do is I will, because this is a shadow here, what I will do is I will click here and I will define a thermal gap of, let's say 900 meters, so that I can get rid of the shadow. Yeah, shadow is still there. I don't need a thermal gap here, so I remove this. And still shadow is there. I will try to make it 2 meters basically. Let's see if I'm able to get rid of the shadow. Yes, now I'm able to, still there's some shadow on this. So let's say 2005. Just I'm going to show you how you play with this thermal gaps here. So you can create based on, normally the shadow is not so big. Now still there is a little bit of shadowing, but I can do is what I can do is I will tell you, like for example, what I can do is the shadow is quite long. What I will do is I will click on the module field. No, I will get out of the thermal gaps. I will go to the erase button. This you can see, this is the erase button, and I can manually delete the modules which are shaded. Just need to click on that module, and even this is shaded. Even this is shaded. I remove this, all this panel. This is also shaded. I remove this panels. Yeah, I create a thermal gap here, and also vertically also you can create a thermal gap if you want to create a walkways for the cleaning of modules, which is sometimes the case in places where there's a lot of dust, lots of dusty conditions in the industrial areas in Gujarat or in Rajasthan, or also in fact in the big cities. There's always some dust. So if you want to create a walkways, you can create it by using these thermal gaps. So example, horizontally you want to create it. There's already thermal gaps. By default takes every 9 modules. For example, from here 9 modules, 7 modules in fact. So you can also play with this thermal gaps. You can make here a thermal gap bigger, let's say 800 meters. and then it will make a thermal gap here. So it's a very good tool. You can create a thermal gaps horizontally, vertically. You can do the shadow analysis. Everything is possible with this K2 base. And I will also help you or tell you later on that's also possible to do the electrical planning. Yes, later on. Yeah. So we are finished with the design part, ladies and gentlemen. Now we are left with the last part, which is called loads. So what I will do is I go out of it and click on loads, which is the most important part, because the pictures which we have seen from the Pune and from Delhi, the problem was the loads were not considered and also some certain factors which were not considered. So maybe some experts know that there are various factors to be considered while designing structures. There is a dead weight, there is a wind pattern, whether from where the wind is flowing, whether wind is flowing from top to bottom or bottom to top or sideways, and so on. Wind speeds, of course, is also correlated with the design of structures. Also the height of the building, as I mentioned earlier, because wind speeds are different at different heights. So also the terrain category, which I'll tell you in this loads. So what I will do, ladies and gentlemen, you need to define here the wind speeds. But I know I don't know the wind speeds in Bangalore. So what I will do is I will use a Indian wind speed map, which my colleague also share with you what is the wind speed map of here. And I know this location is, hope everybody can see this Indian map. Harpreet, can you see this wind map?
Yes, I can see the wind map.
Perfect. Hope audience can see as well. So I assume that everybody is seeing, can see the wind map. So you can see this wind map is actually divided into 6 different zones with different colors. For example, this red zone is the, or this pink zone is the highest with 55 meter per second wind speed. But we need to consider the wind speeds in the location where we are planning. So here it's in this area, which is actually 33 meter per second. But these wind speeds are actually the 3 meter second values. But what we need to consider, at least in our calculation, it's a 10 minutes value. So what we have done, ladies and gentlemen, our product development team, especially the team from Ronnie, have developed a tool, Excel tool, which convert this 3-second value into 10-minute average value. So I know from this wind map, it's 33 meter per second. This is Bangalore, this region. And I will now convert this 33 meter per second into 10-minute average. So you need to put here 33. So it will give you equivalent to 23 meter per second here. Yes. So you need to input this value in the K2 base. Yes. So we can, we also share this Excel tool if you want to use this after the webinar in your own projects. Once you registered with K2 base, hope everybody will do that. So you will be able to do it on your own. You can have to first look at the wind map, see what is the wind speeds, 3 meter per second values, and then convert this using this 10 minutes average. You can convert this into 10 minutes average. For me, in this case, is 23 meter per second for the location, which is Bangalore. Yes, ladies and gentlemen. So what I will do, I will go back to this. I will put it here is 23 meter per second. And I know this is what kind of coastal area. So you need to define basically also the wind patterns I mentioned. So I will play with this wind pattern so you get to know that how it differs basically. So what I choose is first is a coastal area. If I put a coastal area, it's giving me 0.93 kilonewton per square meter of load. But this is not the case. I will just switch to urban areas. So you can see what is the value now, 0.93 kilonewton per square meter. So I will change it to urban areas. You will see there's a difference. So you need to see how much, 0.97 to 0.38, because this is the way the wind pattern change. So you need to really consider that thing into mechanical planning in order to avoid any failures, which was happening before. You know, these pictures from Pune, these were missing here. So maybe they miss all these things. Yeah, maybe they, I don't know what software they consider, or they consider at all the foundation, which is the mechanical structure. But this is the way you need to consider. It's not just the wind speed. You need to get to know the wind pattern, the height of building, also the dead weight, which I'll talk about in the later on. So ladies and continuing forward. So I need to input here snow load. Since there's no snow happening, I will put it as 0. Yes. So you are finished with this simulation. So now we want to see is the results. So what I will do, I will click on the results and I will see whether the system is verified or not. Yeah, so this software will tell me, considering everything. Now if click on verification, it says selected mounting system can be installed as planned. Congratulations. So you can go ahead without worrying that all the investments either of modules, inverters or structures would not be wasted. So you can make sure using this tool in 4 simple steps that you can be sure of that your structure or your panels will not be hanging in the air and you will not create a negative impact on the front of your customer. So ladies and gentlemen, this was the last step. Now I want to show you some more cool features. I will show you, once this is done, this will also tell you the bill of material. What, like this is, will give you complete details, like what is the size of the PV plant. It's 156 kilowatt. It will tell you what kind of components you are using. Don't consider these prices. You need to consider, you need to contact me for the prices, and it's very competitive. I can assure you that. Yeah, so don't need to worry that if it's German, it is not competitive. It's very competitive price we are offering. So right now I tell you how we can generate the remote. You can, here you can click on generate. Excuse me. So once you click on generate, now I want to add more everything inside. I want to also see the horizontal and vertical loads. I will click once again. So this is the report which it will give you. This is which will give you the confidence for the installer. I will tell you, I will discuss with you shortly about the reports what it's giving us. Now it's downloading. It's 1.1 megabytes the size of the file. Yeah, come on. So it's still downloading. Yeah, internet doesn't seems to be so fast at the moment. So in between, I tell you that you can also see the pictures of the structures. Like these all structure is made of high quality aluminum. Nobody talks about material of the aluminum. Yeah, material of the aluminum is also very equally important. And we are using a very high grade of aluminum, which is called 6063TW6. So please, you do consider the material of the aluminum also, because you need to see what is the yield strength, what is the fracture when it's getting fractured. Yeah, there's a machine called universal testing machine to test that. So the most powerful or the most powerful, let's say high strength aluminum is 6063TW6, and we are using the same. Some are also using some scrap aluminum, selling you scrap, which is no guarantee that it may happen with high wind speed. The structure itself going to collapse because it's not electronics or something which is visible with the naked eye. You need to really make sure that aluminum grade is one of the best quality aluminum grade, which is also very important. And we are very proud in saying that we are using the best quality aluminum. So now, ladies and gentlemen, this report is downloaded. Now just click on this report. So you see this report has 15 pages, and you can also give it to the installer basically once who is installing the while executing the solar PV project. So it will also divide into 4 parts. So first part talk about project data, address where it's located, it's Bangalore, the product which we have used as from V10, and the customer is Shashank. And we talk about the loads, the lifetime, the modules we have used Exitech, which is also available with Krannich. And then it talks about pre-assembly with the pictures as well. And then it talks about how you're going to place the rails with nice pictures, which once you have done the simulation, you can take a printout and then you can give it to the installer. It will make the life of installer very easy. And then this complete rooftop project is divided into 8 blocks. So, and then for each block, we created a very big thermal gap because of the shadow, and there is no panels here. So for each block, it will consider different loads. It will show you, it's not that we have just created on our own the PDF file. It will show you what kind of suction and compression pressures the blocks are handling. So for example, the block 1, this side is 2.38 kilonewton force, and so on, the direction of the forces. Yeah, so for each block it will tell you, and then it will tell you ballast plan. So you also need to consider the ballast plan. It will to tell you this, for this you have to put 4 kilograms, here is 5.5 kilograms, and so on. For each block it will tell you. I will talk about ballast separately. To give you this one more additional features which is very nicely available in K2 base. Then it talks about results, and for this slide basically I will tell you, this talks about dead load. It talks about 0.08 kilonewton, which is around 800 Newton per square meters. This is a dead load we are putting on the roof. So we as a structural company can give you guarantee. We give you 12 years of product warranty normally, but we don't give guarantee that this dead load, because we are not physically present there. It's a task of structural engineer to make sure that the roof where you're putting your solar project, the roof itself is able to sustain that much of load. But our software will tell you how much of dead load you're going to put it. In this case, it's 800 Newton per square meter. For this case, you need to hire a structural engineer to make sure that your structure is strong enough to bear that much load. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is very important that to make sure that your solar PV project is able to bear the dead load. And for the input for the structural engineer, we also give it, the software gives you, and this is correct input. Yes. Even for each block, it will give you dead weight, block 1, block 2, block 3, and it will give you cumulative load. And this is the task of structural engineer to make sure that at least the roof, your roof is strong enough to handle so much of load. Yes. Then it gives a structural analysis report to give you confidence that your structure will be able to sustain the wind speeds which you've been put as 23 meter per second, and so on. Snow load was 0. So, and then based on different formulas, it talks about also the horizontal and vertical loads. See how the wind is flowing. It talks you whether how much is the load from top to bottom or from left to right, and so on. And then in the end, it also gives you a bill of materials, complete bill of materials. Now I'll also tell you one more interesting feature. For example, in the results, in the components, if you want to calculate the number of stones, for example, if you say there's a ballast value in terms of kilograms, you can also mention here number of stones, and then you can input as the weight of each stone. Then it will also gives you the number of stones you need, the cumulative stones you need. For example, if you consider 5 kilograms, the number of stones, the weight of each stone, then it will also tell you the number of stones you need for the complete PV project. So we'll go to the summary again, and then we go to the ballast plan here, ladies and gentlemen. So it will get downloaded automatically. So you see, it's showing us as an Excel file. Enable editing. Yes, I will zoom in. So you can see how where the ballast is needed. There are, for example, here is 2 numbers of stones are needed. So if you know the Excel formula, you can sum it up to know the total amount of stones you needed, total amount of ballast you needed for this complete project. I'll make it more zoom to show you how it looks like. This is our module layout basically. So I hope I'm clear, ladies and gentlemen. So I want to make sure that I'm visible. So how many of you have found this tool very useful? So if you found it very useful, please type yes. And if you don't find it useful, please type no in the chat box. So please tell me if you found this tool useful. Please type yes. If you don't found useful, please type no. Perfect. So I think there are many people who find this tool useful. So I hope in the future you're going to use this K2 based online tool. You can see such a beautiful tool it is. So once you are through with it, you can plan even a small installation at least for at least the size of 100 to 150 kilowatts in maximum 10 minutes, not more than that, ladies and gentlemen. You need 10 minutes just to make sure that everything is fine. It's structurally verified. It can sustain the wind speeds. You are confident enough to say to the customer, even if you are meeting a customer after 10 years, he will really appreciate you that you put something which is giving them value, which is, and not like you sell something and then it's flying in the air, then you miss completely. I know a lot of focus is on the electrical planning. They spend a lot of time in softwares like PVSYST, Helioscope, Solar Lab, and so on, but very less focus in the mechanical planning. Yeah, of course, electrical planning will give you return on investment, will help you to calculate the payback time because you're selling electricity as in the end. But if your structure is not strong, like I said in the beginning, you will make a mess of it. So please don't do that. Structure is just the 5 to 10% of the solar, less than 5% of the solar PV project cost. So don't neglect this 5%, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, 60% is the solar panel cost. Yes, you put a lot of focus. You could also see a lot of things on inverter side, that how many MPPTs has, is that SPD is asked there on the DC and AC side, DC AC overloading, and so on. So but nobody's putting focus on the structural things. Nobody's focusing on the wind speeds, what is the building height, what is the wind pattern. So these things must be taken into consideration. Once you do that, you are differentiating at least from the crowd, which is doing the solar PV projects. So I hope what I've told you in this K2 base is a value for you, and you will use this in the future projects. And if you are not yet registered, please do register. Takes less than 30 seconds, and we will approve your request once you receive your data, and then you can start using your customized username password. You can start planning your projects on your own. So I hope it was easy, as you can see. And if you have any questions, feel free to contact me. I'm really happy to, if you face any problems in doing any stucking in any shadow analysis. Ladies and gentlemen, you can also plan your metal roof also, tile roof also. So we are actually specialists in the rooftop segment. Yeah? So all kind of projects, it's possible to do in K2 base. Doesn't matter it's a metal roof or it's a flat roof. You can do it very easily in the K2 base. So I hope it's a value for you. Now, actually moving to the last section of this webinar, which is a question and answer session. So I would request all of you, if you have any question, there's a small button called raise a flag. So you can click on this flag button, and it will help us to know that you're want to ask a question verbally, and then we will unmute you, and then you can directly ask the questions. And on the same way, we can also ask Harpreet and Ronnie to also ask questions which have verbally come in the chat box, which may be meant for Krannich, either for Shashank or for myself. So please, Harpreet, can you please take over now?
Yeah,
and show your screen as well.
Okay. So Harpreet, first of all, thank you for introducing this tool to us. I think it's very beneficial, and indeed, we got a couple of questions, and let me form one question that I saw quite several times, which is dedicated to ground mount systems. So can we also use this tool for ground mount systems?
I would request Ronnie to answer this and come online, because I want Ronnie, people to see Ronnie as well. So Ronnie, could you please come with your video and answer this question for ground mounted system? Also request Shashank to come online as well through the video, if it's possible.
Well, hi. Thank you, Harpreet. Actually, at the moment, it's not possible to design a ground-mounted system with base, but I also hope that we will implement this possibility in the future. But until now, there are no specific plans concerning that.
Thank you, Ronnie. Thank you so much. So I think this ground mounted needs much more factors to be considered. It's not that easy. So as Ronnie mentioned, will implement that in the near future.
No, not in the near future. I mean, the important thing is that until now, we have to do that manually, the calculation.
Okay. Okay.
You know, what I'm seeing is that a couple of participants are asking for the link. You know, I shared the link in the chat box at the beginning of the webinar. So we will also share after the webinar within an email the link and the quick PDF how to register.
Perfect. And there's any questions for the Krannich side for the good way inverters or for solar panels, which Shashank is offering, and also the special discount which is offering for till 15th of July?
Yes, if anybody wants any questions to be asked, so you feel free to question here, and we shall, I'll try to answer, because this is a special discount for all the attendees for today, and the offer is valid till 15th of July. Flat 5% discount on residential range of GoodWe inverters, that is from 1 kilowatt to 8 kilowatt. If someone has question, and other than this, if anybody has some more questions that has to be asked in the context of Krannich, what we do, who we are, and in what state and in what cities do we deliver, so you can feel free to ask question anytime.
You know, maybe there is one interesting question, Shishak, for you from the audience that I could identify. This is, how does using a bifacial panel affect the inverter? As you said, GoodWe inverter is compatible with the bifacial modules. Isn't the DC side the same to all inverters, voltage and current?
Okay, so that's a very good question, but to answer this question, it would take more time because it's a very, very big technical question. So what I'll do is that I'll ask my technical team to answer this question, because to understand this, we need to share some data and other data sheets as well. So I'll hand it over this question post this webinar, and we'll see who has asked this question, and we will call them and answer them personally. So please, you have to keep a little patience on this. So thank you for your patience, but we will note down this question and we'll answer it soon, as soon as possible.
Okay, I noted. So Harpreet, another question.
You know, we have a couple of interesting questions.
Okay.
You know, some of the participants have asked the question whether this tool is also good for, you know, sizing, mounting structure, steel based.
Okay. I didn't get it. Can you repeat this question? I didn't understand the question.
Okay, the question was dedicated whether, you know, this is just dedicated to aluminum mounting structure, or whether this tool is also good for sizing a steel mounting system, steel-based mounting structure.
Ronnie, would you like to answer that?
At K2, we only use aluminium for the mounting structures. We don't have any steel structures. So the whole structure is 95% aluminium or 90%, depending. Yeah, we only have steel bolts or other materials, but the main structure is aluminium.
Yeah, like to add on Ronnie's, like aluminum is one of the best components in terms of solar structures because of its property. It's the lightest weight, and strength-wise, it's also very strong. So that's why we have using aluminum only. So you should go with aluminum rather than steel. That's our recommendation or experience of 17 years.
Yeah. Harpreet, indeed, we have one raised hand from Mr. Bashka Kolambi. So I would like to take the chance to unmute his microphone now.
Sure, please do it.
Okay, he raised a hand, but it seems like he don't want to have an unmuted microphone.
Okay, so anybody, ladies and gentlemen, you can. I think it's much more convenient to ask verbally rather than typing a long question. So it's a very good opportunity. If you have any questions regarding Goodway inverters or solar panels or about K2 base, please tell us by raising the hand. We will unmute you and we will answer your questions directly here. So please, if you really do have questions about K2 base or Goodway or solar panels, please do that right now. It's a very good opportunity to ask your questions.
Maybe I take the chance to pass one question to Shashank. Dilip Yoshi is asking whether are you manufacturer of products or only distributors for products? So I think this is a question that is.
Yeah, so I would like to answer this, that we are only distributors. We are not into manufacturing. So we have our warehouse at Pune, Bhiwandi, Maharashtra, Chennai, and Delhi. So we just procure the material and we dispatch from our warehouses to different cities and different state of India. So we are not into manufacturing. We are just the distributors of PV modules and inverters. So I hope that answers this question.
I would like to ask Shashank one question here. Maybe it's much more clear for the audience. Let's say you are the distributors. What is the advantage of customers buying directly from Krannich and not from the module manufacturer or inverter manufacturer itself?
Okay, so first of all, our clients and customers need to understand that if the requirement for the material of PV modules or inverter is more than 1 megawatt, right? So it's a bulk. So the clients can go directly to them because it's about the containers that come through. Our target audiences or target clients are that who actually wants to buy the panels or inverters in a lower quantity. And our logistics, what in our experience is the fastest logistics that we provide. Plus our customer service and the after sales service is very good. Up till now in India, since Krannich is active in doing this, we have all the customers across India who are very happy with the after sales service. And in some state, when we talk, we have after sales service solved the inquiry within 48 hours. So when you come to Krannich for buying inverters and modules, we will give you the after sales service very good. We have a very good rate as per the procurement we do. And one of the most important and interesting point is that we have received some complaints from different customers who were previously not associated as a customer with Krannich, is that sometimes other distributor companies, what they do is when they give the material to client after delivery, and sometimes they procure material on when the dollar rate is, like for example, I'll let you know, when in the month of January and February, when it was not a COVID situation, few of the customer bought from different distributors at the rate of 72 when India was having dollar rate 72. Suddenly when the corona situation happened, the dollar rate went to 78, and since only then the dollar rate was hiking up 75, 76, 77. So few of the distributors, what they did is, when they sold the material on the rate of 72, they asked the customer to pay the difference of the dollar rate that was hiked. So for example, if some customer bought it on the 72 rate, right? So when the dollar rate went up 75, they asked the customer to pay the 3 rupees difference, 3 rupees, that 3 dollars difference. So the customers were not happy. This doesn't happen with Krannich, because we do the entire business in the INR, that is Indian currency rate, right? We do not consider dollar. It is our duty, it is our responsibility that if we buy any dollar rate from the manufacturing company, customer shouldn't worry about the dollar, because we give them the rate at the Indian, so they do not need to worry that if dollar rate goes high. You don't need to worry, we will provide you the same thing which we have bought. So customer has the insecurity that customer carry, we sort them this thing. So this is very positive point for all the EPC who wants to buy material from Krannich, and our after sale service is good. Even we are open to, if they have some big like the technical query, what we do is we immediately call the manufacturer and we do a conference call. Either we solve their inquiry via mail, or we provide them with a trust. We provide the manufacturing or the companies who are based in India, for example, Goodby people or Trina people or SolarEdge people. We transfer their call to the technical team, and hence as soon as possible their inquiry is closed. So this is how the customer has given us the review. That is why we Krannich are very thankful, and we feel privileged to provide our services to the customers in India. So there are a lot of other benefits as well, including the delivery, logistics, after sales service, or sometime if the inverter goes down, so we have a replacement issues that are solved within 48 hours. So all those things which are concerned for EPCs, we take each and everything into consideration, and we try to solve entire India this thing within 48 to 72 hours. Until and unless if our technical engineering is much more occupied, they will get sorted out things within 48 hours. That's what our agenda is. And delivery also, we try to deliver as soon as possible. As I told in the PPT as well, that in the amid COVID situations, we were able to deliver material via our logistic department, and people really appreciated that.
Perfect. So I really acknowledge that I think the advantage for the customer is the fluctuation of dollar, and plus the service what Krannich is offering, that within 48 hours you will have a quick reply if you face any technical issues. Thank you, Shashank. I will now ask Harpreet again if there are further questions, please.
There are a couple of further questions. I tried to unmute the microphone from Tamil Vanan Vilvam to ask the question. So, now it's your turn. Please ask your question.
Good evening, sir. See, as per government policy in India, see, we have to give a ground clearance of 300 mm for a RCC structure.
Ground clearance
300 mm. Our structure seems to be, there is not much ground clearance from the roof. Okay, what is the solution for that?
I think that if it's okay with you, we can take this question offline, because it can go a little bit longer, the question. I would really appreciate, I have on the screen visible my phone number and email as well. I really I understand your question about the ground clearance, and I will, if it's okay with you, we can discuss after this webinar.
No problem. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Thank you so much for asking. Harpreet?
We see a couple of more questions. The next question I saw is coming from Sasvat Das, so I unmute his microphone now.
Okay.
Good evening. I just wanted to understand, is there anywhere in the tool which describes where we could input the data of the existing structure? Like many of the pre-engineered buildings are built for a maximum live load plus, you know, I mean, it would be built for a minimum load as such, but we have to gauge if there is a feasibility of even putting a solar module on top of it structurally, right? And basis of and drawings may not always be available. So is there a way that we could put in this data in the tool to gauge the feasibility?
What you can do is you can design a project where you already installed the your project, and then you can compare the values, and then you can get what you need. Basically, you have some values of the, you have a complete report about the structural analysis or the parameters you put it, and compare with the existing project. I think then it's a good way to do that. Maybe Ronnie can add on this, because that's the only possibility I see from my side.
Can't hear you.
Yeah.
I said, yeah.
The connection was not so good, so I could only hear half of your question. If you could please repeat.
Yeah, there are several pre-engineered buildings with roof sheet, which is, I mean, the structure is designed for a total dead load of much, you know, it wouldn't have been designed for solar as an additional load. It would have just been designed for the typical wind load plus the live load of the person going on top. But and it's there may not be drawings always available for a site like this. So basis of the profile and of the number of structural members underneath, is it possible to gauge the feasibility of putting in a K2 structure there?
Can you repeat the last sentence, please?
Yeah, basis of the structural members and the sheet profile, is it possible to gauge what is the feasibility of putting in a K2 structure?
Ronnie, I will explain you in simple terms. What they are actually asking me, what I understood is that but I actually also explained in my when I was demonstrating K2 base. Basically, I just want to add one line because I now understood the question much better. Then Ronnie, please, you can add on it. Basically, what he wants to know is that sometimes there is structure and you don't have a drawings how the purlins and rafters are there, and they're unsure whether this roof would be able to sustain the weight of solar panels and structures. So as I mentioned also during the presentation, that we just give validation that that the roof would be able to that the solar panels and structure would be able to sustain that much of wind speed and snow load, but whether the solar panel and the structures, whether the roof will be able to sustain that, we cannot evaluate that because the software cannot evaluate that. This is the task of basically a structural engineer, which will make sure that using different analysis, finite element analysis, or some software they use, and based on knowing that how the purlins distance are, how the rafter distance are, and then they can tell you whether, for example, our software will tell you it should sustain, the weight of dead load should be 800 Newton per square meters, and based on that the structural engineer will be telling you that okay, whether your roof is strong enough to sustain that or not. But this tool is not there to tell you that whether your roof is strong enough to sustain the dead load we are putting. This tool will only tell you whether environmentally, whether it can be able to sustain the wind speeds or snow loads based on the particular location. And now, Tony, if you want to add, if you can add that as well.
Yeah, exactly. For a flat roof system, for example, we have a table in the static report in the PDF, which you can print in the end, and you can see in this table that for each module field, what is the load per square meter of this module field, and then you can compare if it is over or under the maximum allowed additional load your roof can take.
Okay. My concerns were primarily with the pre-engineered buildings that we have, and I mean, it's just a point here to note that I mean, it's a combination of the structural load and the existing building. I mean, the solar panel structure with the thing, which will combine to give you the right answer if the structure is going to withstand the wind speed or not. Yeah.
Yeah,
But
like,
thanks for answering that.
Perfect. So Hartwig, next question, please.
There is one raised hand from Mr. Rafi Kumar, so I'm gonna unmute his microphone now.
So Mr. Ravi Kumar, please go ahead.
Yeah, hi, K2 team, and my question is to K2 team. So you showed me the layout for when you are placing module over the roof. So what about the inverter? Like, how do you address the inverter there?
Okay, so you mean that if you put the inverters on the roof, then you're also increasing the dead weight on the roof,
Exactly,
right?
exactly.
So what I can answer your very question, because I have been to many solar installation around India, also in Germany. So what happens normally, it depends on company to company. For example, in Europe, they will put the solar inverter directly in the basement or in the cellar. They will normally don't put the solar inverter on the rooftop. Yes,
True.
but in case of India, there are some places where they put solar inverter on the roof. But then it's not a problem. You can have refer to the data sheet of the solar inverter, and then you can just add the dead load based on the data sheet of the inverter. It's mentioned how much it weighs. So you don't just need the weight of the number of inverters, the weight of each inverter, and the number of inverters you are putting on the installation. For example, in this
Okay,
case,
and
in Bangalore, yeah, in Bangalore, you're putting 150 kilowatt. There are 20 kilowatt of Goodway inverter you can use, and then you can refer to the data sheet of Goodway, what is the weight of each inverter, and then you can multiply that, and then you can put that as a dead load apart from solar panel structures and the inverters.
okay, and when you're representing it in the layout diagram which you're giving me in the report, so can I somewhere will it be somewhere be represented in the report as well?
No, it's not possible, but because this dead load weight value is an input. Yeah, if you're basically hiring a structural engineer, it's an input for the structural engineer. You can refer to that report, and then you can. It takes 5 seconds to calculate the dead load of inverter. So you can refer, for example, in this case where I've done the test installation in Bangalore, it was 800 Newton per square meters. So you can take the weight of, for example, 8 inverters. One is weighting, for example, 80 kilograms. So it's 640 kilograms. So you add that 800 plus 640. So this would be the dead load which structural engineer has to consider.
Okay, and one more question I have, like now the conventional method where we are verifying the load or where we are doing the load analysis is using StatPro software, right?
Yeah.
So does this software eliminates the need of StatPro depending on like reliance on StatPro?
No, because as I mentioned, StatPro is something which is a task of a structural engineer, which will consider the under construction. Yeah. So what is how the purlins are distanced? Normally it's 1 meter or 1.5 meter or 2 meters, depending on the locations. So these input, yeah, this is the input for the StatPro. And you can see in K2 base, we are not inputting anything. We are inputting the inputs which is above the roof. We are not putting any values which is below the roof. So StatPro is something which you will need to input the rafter distance, what is the thickness of the rafter, what material this rafter is made of, steel or aluminium or galvanized iron. So Stat Pro is entirely different, which is basically for the whether to calculate whether the PV project will be able to sustain the dead load. Yeah. So these are two different things. One is considering the environment, which is K2 base, and one is considering the dead weight, which is Stat Pro, for example, in this case.
Okay,
But
and
sometimes, just to
yeah,
add, what sometimes happens is like some installers don't hire a structural engineer because they said the cost of structural engineer is too much for smaller installation of 10-50 kilowatt. They normally hire it for bigger installation because they said it's much more price feasible. But some people are really confident because they know that the thickness of the concrete is too high. They would be able to sustain. In that case, they don't hire a structural engineer because they are very confident that it's taken a very huge factor of safety and nothing will happen on the roof if you put X amount of dead load on it.
okay, and as you know, like it's always a trade-off between aluminum and steel when it comes to mounting structures. So whether K2 system is planning to add steel also in the near future?
No, we are using steel some components. For example, we are using steel for wind vane, which is avoiding the roof to hit the solar panels from the back of it. There are some areas we are using steel, but replacing entirely with the aluminum, we are not doing that because we believe aluminum is the best material for the solar structure because it's light, it has a good strength. So there is no, also manufacturing wise, it's very easy to extrude aluminum, which is not the case with steel. So aluminum has so much advantages, so we really don't think the need of replacing aluminum with steel.
Okay, okay. Thank you, K2.
Perfect. Harpreet, next question, please.
We see a couple of more questions. No, okay. The question is whether we're gonna, get back to all of those questions post to the webinar with dedicated answers.
Yeah, let's try. Let's take the last 3 questions.
I would like to transfer one question from SRI Balaji Group, and
okay.
I'm gonna read this question. Sir, I'm working on a water pumping project in Tuticorin, near 5-kilometer distance from sea. Can you please suggest about structure design and module here? Salt, wind speed is high because of near sea. Regards, P. Murugesan. So I guess this is a very specific and detailed project-driven question, and ideally we're gonna get back to this specific question post to the webinar, right?
Absolutely. So I would like to tell him that you can send me the location of the project, exact latitude, longitude, or exact location, because it's also possible with the Google map to know the latitude and longitude, but just by right-clicking on the mouse of the location. And we will see what is the wind speeds, what is the wind pattern in that location, and we would be able to help you with that with a solution. Of course, there will be constraint if there is a very high wind speed, but we need to see exact location, and then we will answer you accordingly post this webinar. Yeah, I hope this helps. So Hartwig, next question, please. The last 2 questions. If there are any, otherwise then we are going to conclude soon.
There are a couple of technical questions, but I guess we're gonna get back to those questions post to the webinar.
All right. So so that means there are no further questions, yeah?
We have covered all raised hands so far. I could not see any more raised hands.
All right, perfect. So so I assume that everybody has asked his questions. So if we are not able to answer this questions during this webinar, so please get in touch with us. If you have questions regarding the solar panels or good way inverters, please get in touch with Shashank. And if you have questions regarding K2 structures, please get in touch with me. You can see my email ID and phone number in this screen. And now I'd like to conclude. I would like to, in concluding sentence, I will say that I said some lines in the beginning of, I will reinstate the quote from Sadhguru: without a strong foundation, it's difficult creating anything of value. So you see what I shared in the beginning of my presentation, that there were solar panels hanging in the air, nobody taking care of the foundation. So I hope I am able to bring some value, some knowledge during this webinar. And I hope you are going to register for K2 base using the link sent to you. And I hope you will make sure that you will incorporate or give an equal importance to structure part as well, because you give a lot of people give a lot of importance on the electrical part by using this PV-assist, solar lab, and so on. But you have also now a digital tool to make sure that your system is safe. Yeah. So I think now with this webinar, I hope we will able to give some awareness about the importance of structural analysis, about the structures, or what are the factors you need to consider in your PV projects. And now I would like to thank first of all Shashank for spending his valuable time for organizing this webinar. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that, and I hope in the future we will organizing regular webinars along with Krannich, along with different inverters you are offering. I know you're also offering Fronius inverters as well. And also want to tell you one thing, that with our K2 base, it's also not mechanical planning, it's also possible to do the electrical planning. With the same tool, it's possible that once you finish with the mechanical planning, you can also go ahead with the electrical planning. So that information I can, he needs more explanation, but it's still possible with the K2 base. You can also do the electrical planning, because we have a collaboration with some inverter manufacturers like Fronius, SMA, and Solar Edge. And now I would like to thank my colleagues from Germany. Hartwig, thank you so much for sparing your precious time and supporting us during this webinar all over from Germany. Really appreciate that. And I also appreciate Ronnie. Ronnie, thank you for the support for this webinar. You're always ready to support for the webinars like this. Really appreciate your support.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. So now I'd like to thank, not the least, I would like to thank each and every one of you for coming here and sparing your precious time. And I hope we are able to give some value to the webinar. I hope you like it. And we will be coming up with more interesting webinars with different, for example, we will be coming up with how to do the electrical planning also with K2 Plus, which is combination of mechanical and electrical planning. Also, hopefully, we'll be coming up with Krannich, along with Krannich, with different inverters, with different topics, innovative topics. And I hope to see your participation in that webinar as well. So once again, thank you all of you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, and looking forward to the next webinars. I will keep you informed about it. Thank you so much.
And do not forget to take 5% discount. Looking forward to all the inquiries, right?
Exactly.
Don't forget to take 5% discount offered by Krannich.
Thank you so much, K2 system team. Thank you so much, and all the attendees. Thank you so much for giving us your precious time. We really appreciate. We highly appreciate, and we are very grateful on behalf of the entire Krannich team. Paying gratitude to everyone for sparing this time. Thank you so much, and looking forward everyone to again joining with a new webinar sometime. Thank you so much. We are signing off. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you,
gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye bye.